Welcome to the Mythic Tavern, and welcome to the War Within Alpha coverage. Today, I am going to be taking you on a tour of another dungeon called Cinderbrew Meadery. Now, I'm not 100% exactly sure where it's located. I think it's in the first zone or the second zone, but I was able to queue into it. So, yeah, there's that. I am going to be playing as a prop warrior, Mountain Thane, hero talents. It's quite fun, and yes, I am going to be doing a full commentary on it. I will be talking about the bosses, what I think about the dungeon, and things like that. So without further ado, guys, enjoy the footage. Alright, welcome to the Mythic Tavern, and today we are going to be doing the Cinderbrew Meadery dungeon. That's what I'm going to be walking you through today. So it is located in the first zone, Isle of Dorn, and it's basically a dungeon that is split into 3 different wings. And you can kind of tackle any of the 3 bosses, either the one at the front, the left, or the right. And then there's a boss, a 4th boss at the end up front. So, basically, it's pretty easy. This dungeon has a lot of mobs, it's quite dense, and there are some nasty mobs in here as well. Actually, I would argue that, I don't know if it was a group thing or if it was just a learning thing, but we had quite a few difficulties with some of the mobs here later on, and you'll guys see why and how. It could be bugs, could be just poor play and a combination of things, and obviously doing it for the first time. But yeah. Overall, I think this dungeon is pretty interesting. It's very small in terms of like how big it is, and I would also say it's very quite linear. There's really not many places to go to, even though there are like, you know, 2 other wings to get through. They're very basic and they're very linear pathways within those wings. So basically in the middle you want to clear everything out. Because you want to have an open space for the boss, because this boss that's coming up has a very interesting mechanic. It's a Brewmaster Aldryr, that's his name. He's technically the first boss, but in actuality, any of the 3 bosses that you see on the list could be technically the first boss instead. It just really matters how you want to tackle it, but I think for the most part, when people will do Mythic Plus, they will most likely just take care of the first boss because he's just right in front of you. There's literal no reason to go to the other wings. It doesn't really do anything. So what you kind of want to do here is you want to clear these rooms, because there is the boss mechanic where you have to pick up the beer or whatever, the ale or whatever it is, and give it to the thirsty patrons. And a lot of people obviously don't really know that, because, you know, it's a alpha and people are just kind of learning the dungeons. But I thought it was a pretty cool mechanic, and the reason why you need to clear the room is because the thirsty patrons are located in these locations, and there's hostile mobs next to them. So you have to clear it out, you kind of have no choice. But in here, we didn't really think about that. We didn't really clear the other side, so we just pulled the boss like this, and we ended up having to fight the mobs during the boss. Maybe on Mythic Plus, that's probably what people will do. Because what happens is, when the boss is immune, you obviously can't, you know, hit him for damage. So you could technically fight the mobs, maybe, you know, when the boss is immune, but it's probably not a good idea. So, because you don't want to waste time, you just want to have everything clear from the beginning. For the most part, you just kind of dodge his stuff, and if you step on this, you're gonna get slowed. So over here, when he goes to a certain amount of HP, he's gonna start to get this bubble shield, and you can't hit him. So you gotta pick up this mug of Cinderbrew and bring it to the patrons. I thought this was a really cool mechanic. It's something different, and yeah, you just kind of go around and deliver, and I think it's 1 mug per person. I'm not sure how many mugs you have to deliver exactly, but clearly this was not enough, because we pretty much gave everyone drinks on one of the sides of the room, but the boss was still immune, which basically meant we were missing a few people. And see, here's a Drakthir trying to give it to them, and they're not taking it because they already had their fill. But there's a thirsty patron on the other side, on the left, so clearly we're gonna have to pull that pack. Yeah, and there he's emoting saying keep him coming. So yeah, because we didn't pull this pack, and he's the last one that we're gonna give it to, that's gonna reactivate the boss. So we ended up fighting these mobs with the boss, now that his immune shield is down. I mean, didn't really matter. It's on normal difficulty, you know, that's literally irrelevant. But on Mythic Plus, you're probably gonna want to avoid this. So, and of course, Mythic Plus testing is not available yet. This is just the first week of alpha, or was the first week of alpha. So, yeah, a lot of that stuff is probably subject to change, and you know, you're probably gonna need balance tuning. It'll be interesting. So that is the first boss in Cinderbrew Meadery. Overall, like I said, I think this dungeon is pretty cool. It's pretty small, but it is really filled with a lot of mobs, and you'll guys see what I mean by that as we go to the other few wings here in a bit. So it doesn't really matter what wing you go to. Obviously, this was the closest thing that I was already at, so I decided to go this way, which was to the left. Now, there is apparently like an engineering thing here that you can do with these items. I don't exactly know what the flamethrower does. I'm assuming it just does a lot of damage or something. We haven't actually gotten a chance to test it. So here I am just picking up a lot of mobs. You know, these are packs of 3. You definitely want to prioritize the careless hobgoblins. They charge randomly into people and, you know, just do a shit ton of damage. And if they hit a wall, they get stunned, which is good. So when they're charging you, you do not want to be in their way because they're gonna hit you for a lot. Yeah, these mobs are pretty dangerous. I would say that on Mythic Plus, these ones are gonna be definitely a priority as far as what I've been kind of seeing. Not sure what exactly I'm doing here. I'm kind of doodling around here. I think I was looking for an ability or something in my talent points, but yeah. Yeah, I think I'm looking for a spell reflect because I was missing it. Oh no, I was missing a battle shout. Listen, guys, first day of alpha. Okay, yeah, go ahead and make fun of me in the comments. I worry without battle shout. I know it's embarrassing. I was just too giddy, man, to try out the dungeons, man. It's alright, relax. You know, I made a mistake. It's all good. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna keep on pulling here. Yeah, I mean, these ones really don't do much, at least on normal. They do these not uninterruptible casts, I guess you could say. And yeah, you just whack them in the face and that's it. This pack is pretty nasty because it's 2 of them. I think I do get greedy and I do pick up the other pack, but I don't remember. But yeah, you definitely want to take down one of these first and then get the other one. So there he's charging, going straight into a wall. I think I turned away, I didn't see where he went. Oh, that guy just walked right into that. But yeah, you know, that's the thing. And somebody pulled that pack, so I'm gonna have to go pick him up here in a bit. There we go, yeah. Okay, he dodged that one. But you guys can probably kind of see how this can become a mess pretty quickly. Especially if these mobs charge into the other packs that are not pulled. That's gonna cause issues. So you probably don't want to do that. Anyway, we're gonna go to the right here, and this is the boss room. And apparently we still didn't kill these goops over here, or whatever they are. Yeah, brew drops. Gonna finish them off here real quick. So in this room, to the right, if you kill all the mobs on the right side in that corner, you're gonna spawn the boss. So in this room, it's kind of debatable. You actually kind of want to clear the whole thing, and I'll explain to you why. And that is because the boss that we're about to fight has a mechanic where you need to kite him away from these mobs that he spawns. Because if these mobs get attached to him, he's gonna gain an absurd absorb shield, and he's gonna do a ton of AoE damage to you and your party. And that's kind of what we ran into over here, because we didn't realize what was going on. Obviously, we're kind of learning this for the first time. And we thankfully didn't wipe, but we did have some issues. I think one of our people were down, but we ended up killing the boss here. Spoiler, spoiler. So yeah, so that's kind of the reason why you want to clear the room. And we didn't really realize that you had to kite the boss until 2 absorbed shields in. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to suffer through that. But hey, it's a learning experience, and you know, that's part of testing, it's part of learning, and all that good stuff. You know, we do all the heavy lifting for you, so you guys, you know, when this expansion launches, you are not gonna have problems. fighting these mobs. So we just kind of pull everything in here. Yeah, this is a pretty nasty pack, I'll have to say. But yeah, and you can actually interrupt that heal, by the way. And you gotta be careful when you kill these mobs because they drop a lot of brew on the floor. That does damage to you, and you definitely want to kill that totem too, because it blows up, it explodes the brew, does damage as well. So over here, the boss is spawning, and unfortunately we had a couple of people dead. Healer self-rezzed, or got rezzed, or whatever. And here we go. Nothing too crazy, right? Just a tank and spank. Obviously, avoid the spouting stout. Pretty easy. Nothing too, you know, rocket sciencey. Just kind of run around it, go around it, whatever. So these mobs that spawn, you see, they're just attached to them. Yeah, there's a massive absorb shield now, and we're sitting here like, oh my god, what's happening, right? So it took us a bit to realize what was going on, but we figured it out, and eventually we just kind of we just killed the boss and we started kiting him around. So this is gonna be a little bit painful to watch. I might speed this up, I might not, as I'm doing this commentary not live. I'm doing a commentary over the video, not as I'm playing. So yeah, but you guys kind of get the idea here of what's going on. So he's about to lose his absorb shield again, and this time I was kind of checking my suspicion here, what was going on, and I was like, yep, exactly, the mob's attached to himself again. We need to do something here. So yeah, after the second time, we definitely realized that something needs to be changed in terms of the strats. As you guys can't see the chat, but basically I was saying, I think I need to kite him away from the blobs. And a few other party members basically said, I think we need to CC them, slow them, stun them, or kill them really quickly. So that's what we decided to do on the second time. The second or the third round, I should say, at this point. So right here, there's, you know, when he's doing this, that's when he's spawning them. They come out of that red one. So over here, I'm gonna start kiting, and they're gonna start slowing. So for this boss, you definitely want to bring a monk for a ring of peace. Piercing howl is good here. Anything that really slows is really good here. I would say a monk is really nice because the mobs can get bounced off the boss. And just take a boss to a corner or something. And as you guys can see here, he didn't get any stacks. Now we can just wail on him and basically just wreck him completely. A pretty easy fight after you do that mechanic. And I think he starts doing the spinning and spawning when he reaches 100 energy. I think he's about to do it again, but by the time he's done spinning, he's gonna be dead already, so it didn't really matter. But as you guys can see here, I'm already prepping to kind of kite him away from the mobs, and you definitely want to have some room here. So yeah, that's the boss here. I think this boss on Tyrannical is gonna be pretty rough. But I like this boss. It's pretty easy. Well, I mean, relative easy. Obviously, on normal, everything is easy. But it seems to be kind of manageable, at least for now. So the question remains is how much of a room do you need to clear for like a plus, you know, 10 Tyrannical run. Remember, plus 10 Mythic now is basically a plus 20 Mythic because they changed the whole thing. So a plus 10 Mythic is a plus 20 Mythic as it would be back in the old day. That's pack you can skip, you don't really need to pull it, it's just literally irrelevant. Again, I don't know what the mob density and the mob percentage requirement is going to be for this dungeon. But I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes when Mythic Plus becomes available for testing. So this room is very nasty when it comes to mobs. Super nasty, and particularly because of the gnolls. So in here, I'm kind of being greedy, grabbing all these packs. And I think I grabbed a little too many. Yeah, I kind of got greedy here, and I ended up grabbing that big dude that's walking around. And that was a big mistake, because if you let him pull off the AoE stun, AoE CC that he does, like this one, you're gonna be in big trouble. Yeah, and he also slows you when that happens. Yeah, it's just a bad news for everybody. Don't do that. It's not a good idea. But yeah, that's kind of the thing with the brand ambassador. A very nasty mob that you definitely want to kill. Yeah, so, you know, here I'm leaping out of it. He does an explosion that just does a lot of damage. So I can only imagine on not Tyrannical, on Fortified, that's really gonna mess you up. So These ones are not really elites. You can just grab them and kind of pull them into the next pack. It's pretty easy. Nothing too crazy over here. So we're doing okay so far, but we're about to run into some sloppy time over here. Not too far from it by now, but you'll see what I mean. Yep, here's another brand ambassador that I decided to pull. And I decided to be smart this time and leap away. But yeah, I really like this dungeon as well. If you ask me which one I like better, this one or Rookery, you know, it's a good question because they're both pretty good for different ways. Rookery is like, I really like the mobs in Rookery. I just love fighting the titanic earthen looking dwarves, and I think that because they're also corrupted with void, I really like that. You know, which is kind of like the all god stuff. I'm a very big fan of all god lore, so that's kind of like the big thing for me. And I really like the aesthetics of the Rookery more than I do of this dungeon. And Rookery is also a lot more like, it's straight up linear. It's literally a linear path. This one's nice also because it kind of breaks up here, and over here we came into a room and a bunch of mobs just spawned out of nowhere. And I was like, okay, well, I gotta pop a cooldown here or something because I'm about to die. But we managed to live through this. It was pretty wild. So yeah, I don't know if you just have to wait for them to spawn, but yeah, you guys saw that. It was pretty crazy. But we managed to live through this. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Death Knight's Rider of the Apocalypse, being on a mounted horse at all most of the time is really cool, and being able to do mounted combat, yeah, really sick. But yeah, we just killed a bunch of packs here. Alright, so we're getting close to the boss here. We're waiting for... I think one of the members died. The Drakthir did get hit to the point of death. And yeah, we're running into these mobs now. So I think this is where things get a little bit sloppy. We're about to have a really sloppy moment here in a little bit. And I think it's after we kill these specific mobs. So, also there's these people that do this weird fire range thing, and they auto-lock on a random target. And I'm not sure exactly how to avoid fire if you're a DPS. See that red line? I think what you need to do as a tank, I think you need to stand in front of it to take the damage for them. Or other people have to stand in front of it too, to soak up the damage or split it. That's my only prediction. I don't know exactly how it works. See, but they're auto-aiming the Drakthir. Like, you literally cannot do anything. They're literally aimbotting you. You literally cannot dodge it. So, I think something has to be done with that. But yeah, I do believe you need to get in the line of fire. At least the tank does, or somebody. Because if they don't, I think that person is going to get hit for a lot of damage, or they need to use some sort of an immunity or defensive. But again, I'm not 100% sure of that. If anyone in the comments also has alpha and can actually double check this, that'd be pretty cool. Or look it up, let me know in the comments. I'll be very happy to reply back. I reply back to all the comments, guys, so I'm always here for you. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll be very happy to interact with you and give you some answers if I can. So over here, I'm trying to pull this guy over here. Now, this is where people derped, because I'm trying to skip the pack on the right, and people end up pulling it anyway. I'm not sure who pulled it exactly, but I mean, everything was going fine. Yep, see, there's the line of sight again. So over here, we're trying to block it. Yeah, I think you do need to soak it, or have multiple people on it to minimize the damage, but I could be wrong. At least that's what it seems like. So over here, I hugged the corner to the left, but people ended up pulling mobs behind us somehow. I'm not sure how that happened, but we're about to be in a world of hurt here. So yeah, look, everything aggroed. And I just went completely down, so I just got completely obliterated. Yeah, and that was the end of that, pool. So I wasn't sure what happened. I'm gonna just assume that when somebody ran down the stairs, somebody just kind of butt pulled those mobs with their body. Or ran back into them. I don't know, something like that. But you know, it is what it is. Whatever. Who cares, right? But yeah, it's not a big deal. And that guy is that healer was going the wrong way, which was kind of funny. And then thankfully they realized that they were going the wrong way and they turned around. Hey Thel, I see you. Thank you for adding me to friend list. Shout out to Thel. Cool peeps and chill as well. Cool people, man. I appreciate you guys for running through and being cool sports about this. So I don't know what happened here. Apparently the boss got pulled too or something. Basically there's a big mess going on and now mobs are despawning and yeah, it's basically alpha stuff. So yeah, just kind of trying to kill these mobs. I think somebody ran them back to the entrance possibly. I don't know, but whatever. And somehow the boss just appeared magically as well, because I don't even remember pulling the boss. But yeah, I would kind of ignore what's happening right now. I think the boss is spawning these bugs. But no, we're not gonna kill it here. This is a very weird ass pull thingamajig that just kind of happened out of a hat trick. So I don't know what's going on here, but there's a lot of fire and yeah, the boss's name is Benk Buzzbee. This is also one of the mounts. You guys should definitely check out our mount video, where I showcase all 60 mounts that are currently available in the alpha build. And as soon as there's more mounts, I will showcase you even more of them. But yeah, we just decided to wipe it here because this was just kind of stupid. We wanted to pull the boss normally, and that's what we're gonna do. Sorry guys for the shitty place here, but you know, I gotta show it to you how it is. This video is not about really having a perfect run or trying to show off any skills. It's more about just giving you a tour guide of the dungeon, man, and having a conversation about it and discussing it and having a good time. It's you know, it's all about that, man. You know, this is not like an actual guide. You know, if I was gonna make an actual guide, I would never put you guys through this. So, but yeah, it's a good learning experience. You guys see what's going on and the kind of stuff that you can run into an alpha build of a game, and things like that. So yeah, so we're gonna go back here to the boss room and we're gonna give him a good whack. Out of all the bosses, I would have to say this one's the easiest. He's very simple. I think he just basically spawns a bunch of mobs and you just basically kill them, and yeah, it's not really much going on in this fight. We're gonna skip the pack now, and yes, you can jump through the little barricade. There's no need to go through the staircase, which is good. Means less chance of pulling something. So I think we're getting ready here to pull the boss. And I'm about to go in, and the reason why I was standing there was because I was typing to the group. So yeah, you guys can't see it. I blocked the chat just for the sake of privacy of people and myself, and in case someone says something really stupid. So here we go, pull the boss. He does something called snack time, apparently, and I think that spawns the bees to snack on you. But as you can see here, not much going on, really. He's gonna put this fire brew on the floor. Just get away from it. Fire bad. And then there's this barrel that's standing there or whatever. I'm not really sure what the barrel does, or if you really need it for anything. But this boss is very I don't know, man. He just doesn't do much. Yeah. Oh. So these barrels randomly land, I guess. I don't know if they're interactable. I'm not really sure, but that's the boss for the most part. Again, I gotta really see how this is on Mythic Plus, because on Mythic Plus also you gotta remember additional mechanics are added in a Mythic difficulty, so the boss would be a whole different tune. You do not need to pull the pack on the left, unless maybe you need it for a mob percentage on Mythic Plus, but again, I do not have an answer for that. So the nice thing is about this dungeon is they give you shortcuts instead of you having to run all the way back. So you go back into the main room, you go fly, you click on the fire bee or whatever, you fly through the balcony, you pull these 4 yes man mobs, which I thought was kind of funny. Yes ma'am, or whatever they're called, because it's a chick, I believe, that you fight. Yeah, you basically kill him. So, or her, whoever it is. Yeah, I think it's a chick. Yeah, her name is Goldie. Anyway, yes, BEO. That's a funny title, as in CEO. Blizzard in there, references. So basically, this boss is really interesting. I'm not sure what the intention here is. Maybe somebody can educate me on this, but basically what happens, she's gonna shoot you with a shotgun or whatever, her gun, and if she hits a barrel with her shotgun line of fire, that barrel is gonna explode and let out a lot of little fire waves out of it that the group is gonna have to dodge. And she's also gonna put a bomb on people. So if you stand next to a barrel like that guy is, the barrel is gonna explode right there, and then you see that fire stuff is gonna come out. So either you avoid exploiting the barrels, and you try to race DPS her down, or you do blow up as many barrels as possible, so that way there's less of them. But I'm not really sure exactly what's the best way to do that. I would assume on time, yeah, and then she just goes like crazy and starts shooting everywhere. I'm gonna assume on Mythic Plus you're gonna want to clear the barrels. I am not 100% sure on that. What the intended way of doing this boss is. But anyway, guys, that is the Cinderbrew Meadery for you. It's the second dungeon that I did in the War Within alpha build of the first week. Pretty cool overall. I like it. I like the fact that it has wings. I like the fact that it's pretty short. It's not a long dungeon and it has shortcuts, so you will never run forever to where you died at or whatever. But yeah, that is basically it, guys. Thank you for checking this out. Shout out to Thel and Chill. Thank you guys for running with me. And yeah, I will give you more videos hopefully as soon as more stuff in the alpha build gets updated. Peace out, guys, and have a good one.